Now we have with us Professor CB Sharma Saab. He is an expert in the field of cyber security. Professor CB Sharma is senior cyber auditor. He is world-renowned cyber security expert, and his glorified experience also includes that of an outstanding and decorated former Indian Police Service officer. He is proud recipient of very prestigious President Police Medal. His deliberations today will certainly around cyber security for corporate, legal mandate, and international standard. The main theme of our webinar is e-business and cyber security. And I know the cyber security is the threat for not only the expert but everyone, for a common man also. And many of you must be having many queries. I'm sure your queries will settle down during the lecture, but if you have any queries, each and every query you can settle down with our today's expert, Honorable Dr. CB Sharma Saab. So with all due respect, I invite Dr. CB Sharma Saab to deliver his speech. Dr. CB Sharma Saab.
Thank you. Do you hear me well, sir?
Yes, audible.
Audible?
Very much audible.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir, audible.
Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahe Tejasvinavadhitmastu Ma Vidyasavahe Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. First of all, I pray to Almighty God, may the knowledge shared be brilliant and there be no animosity in both of us, let's say the participants online, the webinar, and me, the speaker. Pay obeisance to Lord Ganesh Ji to complete the webinar successfully, Ma Saraswati to give knowledge and thoughts and synchronize with the need of the time, and pay homage to my parents to bless us. Now, Mr. Vyas has introduced me, but a little in a different way. First, I'm not a professor. I'm retired police officer. Before joining the police services, I did my MSc in microelectronics, and during the active police service, I did my LLB because it was needed there in the administration of justice. Then PhD in student police relationship. That's why they call me as professor, but I'm not a professor. Anyway, let us come to the main theme, and that is the cyber security. What is this cyber security? Let us come to straightway to that thing. So, in the cyber security, and the today's topic is cyber security for corporates in legal mandate and international standards. So, we will discuss first one by one what is cyber security, body corporate, what are the legal mandates, and what are the cyber security international standards. As we know, the general perception about cyber is something related to computers. But when we discuss cyber security, legal mandate and international standardization to achieve that cyber security, the security of the cyber system, if we should also know the ingredients of cyber security. So how we define cyber security? It is the characteristic of culture of computers, information technology, virtual reality, augmented reality, artificial intelligence and machine learning, encryption, dark web, and cryptocurrency. All these are included in the definition of cybersecurity. The special characteristics of computers, as we all know, that it performs three functions: arithmetic, logic, and memory functions, and it processes the data at a very high speed. So when we provide security to a computer, what we want to know, when we want to provide security to the computer system, we adopt such controls and reviewed procedures that no one can communicate with or instruct the arithmetic, logic, and memory functions of a computer resource. That is the basic requirement for the cyber security. If we want to secure the computer system, we have to stop all that. We have to protect the system, like the information technology, because it is a characteristic of culture of computers and information technology. So what is this information technology? It's the study, design, development, implementation, communication, storage, retrieval, security, and security management of the computer-based information. So it is the computer-based information. Basically, it is the security management of computer-based information. So there are two things. One is the information. So what are the ingredients of information? Normally, we have have the perception of information, but in the context of IT, the information includes data, message, text, image, sound, voice, codes, computer programs. All that is included in the definition of information. Then in security management, as we know, the information is qualified by the computer-based information. So what is that computer-based information? And then we always talk about the data. Whenever we talk about the cyber security, we want to protect data. Our data has been infringed. Our data has been stolen. All that. So what is data and what is this information? We talk about the information management system and security of information, as well as we talk about the data. So there is a correlation between information and data. Data is defined as the representation of information. Means data is definitely an information, but it is qualified as if it is prepared in a formalized manner, processed in a computer system or computer network, and maybe in any form stored in the memory of the computer, the internal memory of the computer, then that information is called data. So in the IT world, we call it data. Now, what is cyber security? You know, cyber is the culture of computer information technology. But what is this cyber security? It is the representation of information, the protection, the information which is represented in the computer. So it's basically the in protection of information, the equipments, the devices, computers, computer resources, communication device, and information stored there. So basically, it's the protection of information and the protection of all the devices which contain the information or which is the information processed in those devices or the computers. We protect them. From what? From the unauthorized access, its use. Once it is unauthorized access, it may be used, misused, disclosure, disruption, modification, destruction, all that. How do we do it? We can't do it through the physical controls because it is tangible and it's intangible. It's not the tangible. So we can't provide the physical controls. So we have to control it, protect it through the technology, processes, and practices to ensure preservation of confidence. Why do we want the preservation, the security of the information? To ensure preservation and of confidentiality, integrity, and availability. When we talk about the security of data in an organization, the data is available in the computer resources, such as first is the endpoint. We are talking about the information which is there in the computer system. So the endpoint includes desktop, laptop, or the communication device, smartphone, to which we generate the information. Then next is the network. Network includes internet, intranet, LAN, WAN, Wi-Fi, hotspot. So nowadays the e-business is all on the internet, LAN, WAN, Wi-Fi, hotspot. So we are more concerned about the protection of networking also. Then third is the network devices. These are the firewalls, switches, routers, etc. Then processors and servers. Then storage media, maybe server, maybe hard disk, maybe in the data center or in the cloud. And the other things we have to protect is the communication, the emails and websites, or the applications, the web applications, the mobile applications, the database or software. So in the process, we have to protect the data in the above computer resources available in the infrastructure of the corporate. Now, we know a corporate, what is a corporate? It is formed to an association and endowed by law with the rights and liabilities of the individual. But we have a different definition, slightly modified definition, when we talk about the legal mandate. In the Information Technology Act, in section 43A, this is defined as the body corporate, means any company or include a firm, sole proprietorship, or other association of individuals engaged in a commercial or professional activity. So, what type of individual associations, maybe the company, maybe the firm. Those who are engaged in the commercial as well as professional activities, they are termed as the body. After COVID-19, all body corporates, industries run their business through e-business or e-commerce, in which all the transactions are carried out by means of electronic data interchange. That is to say, we use the web, internet, intranet, extranet, or the combination of these nets to conduct business. Most of the organizations are running their offices on the policy of work from home only. Since the e-business or work from home, e-learning, e-banking, trading, etc., depend on the internet and other computer resources, all the related information or data are available on network or in the endpoint or in the processor or in the storage media. Since the electronic data exchange had no geographic or physical boundaries and is virtual in nature, it is global phenomena, hence uniformity of law was needed. Legal mandate. Now, what is the legal mandate? Means the law. So, looking to the global nature of cyber, the first of time United Nations Commission on International Trade Law adopted one model law in 1985. So, it starts from 1985. Again, it was amended in 2006. The model law, which was adopted by Commission on International Trade Law, was adopted by the UN General Assembly and they passed the resolution 30th of March 1997. And they advised all the member states. The resolution recommended that all member states, when they enact or revise their law on e-communication, should give favorable consideration to the said model law in view of the need for uniformity. So the uniformity is very much required and it is a global thing. There is no physical boundaries. To give effect to this resolution and to facilitate electronic filing of the document. So that is the first time the international mandate was given for the cybersecurity. And when they recommended to all the member states, so in India to give effect to the resolution and to facilitate filing the documents and to promote the efficient delivery of government services by means of reliable electronic records. Listen, it's through the reliable electronic records, the Parliament passed an act in 2000, and that is the IT Act 2000, Information Technology 2000, which is the start of Indian legal mandate for cybersecurity. So the international legal mandate for cybersecurity starts with the resolution in the UN General Assembly, and the Indian legal mandate starts with the IT Act 2000. The thrust of the whole system is to make the information which is generated or produced, received, processed, transmitted, or procured, stored in a computer resource system, it should be authentic and reliable. So it should maintain its confidentiality. How can it be authentic and reliable? It should maintain its confidentiality, integrity, and availability. In IT Act, Information Technology Act 2000, Section 43A was incorporated very late in 2008 to protect the data of person taken, processed or stored in the computer resource which the body corporate owns, controls or operates. And it was expected from the body corporate, that was the legal expectation or the legal mandate, that the body corporate shall take the reasonable security practices and procedure. If the person is caused wrongful loss because of lack of reasonable security practice and procedure, he will be liable to compensation. Though punishment is not awarded under the Indian law at present or data laws, it is only the compensation under section 43A. Under the international legal mandate to protect the data, the first of all European Union (EU) enforced a General Data Protection Regulation (GDPR) on May 25, 2018, which is applicable to all data controllers or processors established in EU. Secondly, those who are processes or monitors the personal data of individuals who are in EU, European Union, or the data controller or processor established outside EU where law of any one of the EU countries apply. In all the three conditions, this GDPR is applicable. Under GDPR also, the penalty for non-compliance of the provisions of data protection. They said that data protection of an individual is a fundamental right. It is his fundamental right. So for data protection, the non-compliance of data protection provisions of GDPR, the penalty is up to the tune of 20 million euro or up to 4% of the total worldwide annual turnover, whichever is higher. That is very important. So means the minimum penalty is 20 million euro. And if the 4% of the total worldwide turnover, annual turnover goes higher than this 20 million euro, then that is applicable. But under this GDPR also, there is no punishment for punishment, imprisonment, no punishment. Then in India also, because under section 43A, there was no strict punishment or the quantified penalty was not there. So the personal data protection bill, data protection is the fundamental right. So this is nowadays the present legal mandate in section 43 IT Act. No, it is not compatible with the present IT security scenario because everyone is worried about the protection of his own data. So looking to the scenario, it is not compatible. Then the Government of India prepared Personal Data Protection Bill 2009 and in the Personal Data Protection Bill, in which personal data, sensitive personal data, they are defined, and there is the proviso of penalties, compensation, and punishments also. Now, the penalties imposed there are to the tune of 5 crores or 2% of total annual turnover, whichever is higher for non-compliance. There is also provision of punishment for knowingly, intentionally, or recklessly. The new term is recklessly. In all other legal mandates, there are two things, knowingly or intentionally. But there are some legal acts, especially even this is the OS Act, Official Secret Act, where the negligence, there is a punishment for negligence also. In Data Prevention Protection Act also, the provision has made for the reckless. So, offering recklessly, obtaining, transferring, disclosing, selling or offering to sell data, the punishment is up to 3 years for the personal data leakage and 5 years for the sensitive personal data. So the new punishment section has been added in the bill. So it is in the Lok Sabha and it has been forwarded to the team of MPs. So they will scrutinize it and then put up in the Lok Sabha and it will pass very soon. Then international standardization for the security data. We have already discussed that cyberspace has no geographical or physical boundaries. The security of the cyberspace of the data should be, so the security should be on the international standards. Thus the cybersecurity for securing the data in the cyberspace, the International Organization for Standardization, ISO, and the International Electrotechnical Commission, shortly ISO and IEC, they both specialized global standardization they form, and the ISO, which is an independent non-government international organization. I think we all know it was established in 1947. Initially, there were 67 technical committees and 164 national standard bodies. And the international standard organization, there were about 23,244 standards for various disciplines. They deal with the various disciplines. The standard for information technology security, this starts with ISO 27001. So all those who are dealing with the cyber security, they might have had this ISO 27001. So these are the standards. And there are about 49 ISO standards for the cyberspace. This 27001 is basically to protect the data in all the systems we discussed, right from the endpoint to the processor and all that. Now, how it started, the Joint Technical Committee prepared this international standard ISO IEC 27001 just to provide requirements. What are the requirements for establishing, for implementing, for maintaining and improving an information security management system? So that is the international standard. This ISO has prepared ISMS, Information Security Management System, just they have institutionalized it. The need and objective of organization, its security requirements, size and structure of the organization. The ISMS is different for the different organizations. It all depends what are the objectives of the organization, what are the security requirements, what is the size and structure of the organization, what is in IT infrastructure incorporated in the establishment, and that is to implement ISMS of the business. So for every organization, there is different type of ISMS looking to the need of the organization. So when we talk about ISMS and ISO 27001, in the Indian context, as per IT Act Section 43A, we require reasonable security practice and procedure. And what is the reasonable security practice and procedure? And what is the data we talk about? To protect what data and what type of security practice and procedure? So they have made a rule that is information technology, reasonable security practices and procedure, and sensitive personal data or information rules 2011. So in 2011, they incorporate the rules, and in the rules they have defined what is the sensitive personal data. Rule 3 says the sensitive personal data are of 7 types, right from the password to the physical and your medical history, your sex orientation. There are 7 types of data under Rule 3. And Rule 8 of the Rules 2011, also the So the sensitive personal data or information defined in Rule 3, password, the financial information such as bank account, credit card, debit card or other payment instrument details, physical, physiological, mental health condition, sexual orientation, medical record and history, biometric information, and any details relating to the above. So these are 7 types of the sensitive personal data. And now how should they be protected? What is the reasonable security practice and procedure? That is in Rule 8. And Rule 8.1 says these information security programs, they should have the information security programs and information security policy. So what are these information security policies? Under the ISMS, the ISO has prepared the ISMS, and in ISMS 27001 in 5.11 says that every corporate shall have the documented information security policy as needed by the organization, the security of the organization. So this 8.1 says they should have the information security programs and information security policy that contain managerial, technical, operational, and physical security measures. And then section 8.2 also says that the international standards, ISO IEC 27001 is one such standard. The other standards are COBIT, one is the COBIT, other is the ITIL, and fourth one is the Cybersecurity Framework. So Rule 8, reasonable security protection procedure and sensitive personal data or information, defines the requirement of reasonable security practices, implemented international standards, all that. Now this ISMS, which is under the ISO IEC 27001, it has 140 IT security controls. For the security, we have the controls, and under the ISO 27001, there are 114 IT security controls, and each and every corporate is required for the reasonable security procedure to adopt this ISO or any of these 4 COBIT, ITL, cyber security framework, and they have the security controls. The security controls are of 2 types, since it's the intangible thing. So we have the physical controls as well as the logical controls. Logical controls means that of the software. Your software are also protected, and all the computer resources, they are protected. So logical as well as physical controls, and there are about 114 IT security controls, 18 control objectives. The objectives are 18. For the cyber security of an organization, this ISO 27001 ISMS requires 11 information security policies as per the ISO. And this under Rule 4 of the Information Technology Reasonable Security Restrictions Rules, cyber security audit of the infrastructure, which constitutes gap analysis of the existing security controls and any of the international standards. It's vulnerability assessment. First is the gap analysis. Second is the vulnerability assessment of all the computer resources. Then penetration testing, exploitation of the vulnerabilities found in the computer resources. Then the mapping of network, the risk assessment, identifying the non-conformities and their compliance is to be conducted every year or as and when the system is upgraded. Because when the system is upgraded, its logical security is changed. So when the system is upgraded, we have discussed till now the cyber security international legal mandate, and international standardization for information security management. There may be a number of questions. One thing, yesterday, Professor Agarwal, his lecture was really very thought-provoking. In the last, he mentioned one thing, that the quantum of cyber incidents or the cyber crime is not that much. I slightly differ. It is not that much if the security standards or the security procedure adopted. It is exactly like the COVID-19, the virus. The virus wants the warrior. But in the cyber, it doesn't want in the cyber space, the virus it doesn't want the courier. It can travel with an immense speed throughout the world. Throughout the world. The coronavirus wants a courier, and that to a human being. And no carrier is available, then after some time it dies its own death. So we have to take only 3-4 precautions for the coronavirus: social distancing or physical distancing, wash your hands, sanitization, and all that. But in the cyber field, you have to take the physical as well as the logical safeguards and protection. Otherwise, it's very dangerous. And if you take the precautions, it definitely helps. It pays dues both ways. Coronavirus is either harmful or zero. But cyber it is so useful, as Professor Seni was telling just now. But the condition is you have to take the proper precautions, proper protection, and you must know the vulnerabilities of system which you are using, and you must plug the vulnerabilities well in time. So I think there may be a lot of questions, but we will take up in the question answer session. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. C.V. Sharma, sir, for enlightening us through your deep knowledge of the subject. Karen, I'm glad to see all the participants. I don't have access to see